In this problem, I'm told to solve for x, and notice how I have fractions where the variable is in the bottom. So what I want to do is I want to multiply every term by the least common denominator. So to do that, I need to first find what is the least common denominator. So if I factor x squared minus 1, notice I get x minus 1 times x plus 1. That'd be a difference of squares. Here I have an x plus 1. And then here I can make as x minus 1 to be in the same format. So to do that, I probably want to do that first. I would have to pull out a negative. So when I pull out a negative for the denominator, I'm going to get a negative 1 plus x, which is what I want. Negative 1 and then plus x, or x minus 1, same thing. So when I pull a negative 1 out, it makes this first term negative. Okay, so it's a little technique you can use to kind of move things around a little bit. So this first term I'd have is negative 1 over x minus 1, then minus 1 over x plus 1 equals 1 minus 2 over, and we said this would factor to be x plus 1 times x minus 1. So your least common denominator would be x minus 1 times x plus 1. Okay, so since that's my least common denominator, I would multiply every term by x minus 1 times x plus 1. So when I multiply this first term by x plus 1, okay, or times x plus 1 times x minus 1, the x minus 1s will cancel. I'm left with x plus 1 times negative 1, which will give me this, negative x minus 1. And then when I multiply the second term by x minus 1 times x plus 1, x plus 1s will cancel, and I'm left with x minus 1 times this negative 1. So it's going to give me negative x and then a plus 1. When I multiply the 1 by x minus 1 times x plus 1, that's going to be the same thing, x minus 1 times x plus 1, or you can think of it as x squared minus 1, same thing. And then when I multiply this last term, the 2 over x plus 1 times x minus 1, multiply that by x minus 1 times x plus 1, this will cancel out. I'm left with just a negative 2. Okay, so from here what I need to do is get everything equal to 0 so that I can solve this quadratic equation. So I move everything over. I get x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. And then I can factor. I get x plus 3 times x minus 1 equals 0. So then x would have to be negative 3, or x would be plus 1. Now, you always want to double check, make sure that your answer would work. So notice if I plug a 1 in for x, right here I'm going to have 1 over 1 minus 0, and that's going to be undefined. So your answer cannot be a 1, so it has to be a negative 3. So be careful and always check your answers, but your answer would be negative 3.